going on, people? Good morning. Welcome to United View. Welcome to your latest dose of Manchester United transfer news, takeover news, match news, team news, all of that good stuff. I'm a Lone Ranger this morning. There is no Owen. There is no KG. There is no Marcel. There is no Minna. There is no Haley. There is no DJ. There is no Cam. I will be with Cam later on for the tactical view. But I am a Lone Ranger this morning. And you know what? As much as I do love Owen, I do like the chance to do this, actually. I like it when it's few and far in between, so we don't kind of like, overkill it. We don't, it's not overkill, just us two. Well, I say just us two, just me and all of you guys. It's nice to just connect with you guys on a single purpose, like just me and you lot. Do you know what I'm saying? So listen, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, get your teas, get your coffees, get your breakfast. Get the kids ready. Don't forget to do that. If you're on the school run, get ready for work. Let me know where you're watching from as well. So it's a flex solo today. The flex view, flex TV settings. Josh just comes with the eyes. We're going to win the league. Well, wow, flex looks pissed already, says Mark Khan. Listen, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking about the Glazers delaying shock, the Man United takeover. We're going to talk about the Glazers bleeding us dry. Laurie Whitwell had a lot to say this morning with the likes of the Glazers, spending astronomical money on private jets. We're going to talk about that. Rob Dawson had a piece yesterday that spoke about why the Glazers will continue to delay. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about players that Manchester United are linked with. Dusan Vlahovic of Juventus as well. I remember when he went to Arsenal. Well, he was, like everyone's going to go Arsenal. Heavily linked to Arsenal, went to Juventus. Obviously, they've had a lot going on financially as well. They've got charges, which got revoked. Then they went back up the league, but still, we're waiting to look on that with Bayern Munich in there. We're going to talk about Dusan Vlahovic. Today, David Ornstein was talking about Mohamed Kudus, of our beloved friends over there in Ajax. Big up Ajax and Sakbi and Papimento and all of the guys and one over there at We Talk Ajax, I'm sure. Listen, we're going to have to maybe bring them in and talk about Kudus. But David Ornstein is reporting that Kudus has let Ajax know that he wants to leave as well. And that's going to be about 40 million. Nottingham Forest are looking at Dean Henderson as well on a permanent. So we're going to get into that. What else is there? There was a report as well claiming that Martial could be interested by, raising the eyebrows of Villa. So a lot to get into. But let's just start with the Glazers and let's go through what some of the reports had been saying. Rob Dawson yesterday said that the Glazers are considering delaying a decision about whether to sell United until after the end of the season. Now, we knew it wasn't going to be done in the next, few days or so. We knew that. I understand that. So that's not a surprise. But Rob Dawson also goes on. Rob Dawson's a great guy as well. Big up, Rob. He said one of the reasons for the delay, according to one source, is that the Glazers are still trying to come to an agreement about their future with United, particularly because Joel and Avram Glazer are reluctant to give up their stake. Staff were told in March to expect clarity on the ownership situation by the end of the campaign at the latest, but sources have told ESPN that there are now concerns that the Glazers are delaying a decision until after the end of the season. Basically, nobody in the club knows what the hell is going on. They don't know what the hell is going on. And that is a massive concern, a huge concern. We're trying to look at Dusan Vlahovic. We're trying to look at Højlund. We're trying to look at Harry Kane or whoever it may be, Victor Osimhen, whoever it is. We're trying to plan for the future. We're trying to give Erik ten Hag what he needs. But the Glazers are continually putting it off so that they can get the biggest price possible for Man United. Glazonomics at its finest. It's what happens all the time. It's what they've been doing the whole time since this process started, which is wait, and more waiting whilst they're leaving Manchester United staff in limbo, Manchester United fans who they couldn't give a crap about in limbo, and Erik ten Hag and his team who are trying to plan for, the next phase of our rebuild in limbo. And it just goes on. And actually, another piece in terms of back to it in relation to bleeding us dry, if we go down that road, Laurie Whitwell was going in this morning. Big up Laurie. He said when Avram Glazer flew in for Man United's Carabao Cup final in February via private jet, the price put down in the accounts was £250,000. He travelled the same luxurious way to the Women's FA Cup final, which was last week, with the club footing the bill again. Of course, my man's doing up flipping, you know, Lear jets, yeah, on and just doing expenses, keeping the receipts. I'll expense it. I'll expense it later. You know what I'm saying? Taking the absolute piss, bleeding us dry. And Laurie Whitwell also said, even in the context of private jets, just to put it into context, because you might think, well, rich people get jets, you know, 250 grand, that's just what it costs. Well, to put it into context, he goes one step further. And he says, even in the context of private jets, Laurie Whitwell says, the Glazers' journey was at the very top end. Footballers often hire their own private jets for holiday for around 50 grand. So why is the Glazers one costing 250 bags? And just write it off on expenses against our football club in the middle of a sale. Now, listen, I'm not going to be unreasonable and say because you're a millionaire you shouldn't get a private jet. Okay, footballers get private jets all the time. Rich people get private jets all the time, and they rent them out for the day or wherever they're going to, and they do what they need to do. But it doesn't need to cost 250,000. It doesn't. It doesn't need to cost that. It's a disgrace. Like we're literally actively trying to sell this football club. The fans are literally waiting in limbo to find out what our future is for the next many, many years, decades and decades, hopefully with who the new owners will be. We're literally trying to find out. We're hanging on by a thread. We had to get Wout Weghorst for 4 million in the summer, in January. We had to bring in Sabitzer on an emergency loan in January. And now what do? With all of that going on where Eric Ten Hag doesn't even know how much money he's got to play with, the Glazers are flipping, getting the most expensive private jet you could possibly get and bouncing it off against receipts in the end of the tax year when they do self-assessment, not even self-assessment. That's just really basic. But, you know, when they're doing their taxes, yeah, you know, take off whatever percentage because that was travel expenses. Yeah, Miami into Wembley and back. And then I did it a month or so later on in May, because I had to come for the women's final. Like Paul Greaves, 250k is a piss take. Like, do you know what? Exactly, Imran. What does the extra 200k get you? Like, it's a private jet. Yeah, you're gonna get served up the food and that. You can put your feet up. Some private jets got the little lounger. You can lie down. You can go sleep. Exactly. What is 200 extra k getting you? At a time when our club has no money, £200,000 on a jet to come back, and that. It might sound pretentious and it might sound like, you know, oh, that's what rich people do. F that, man. They're taking the absolute liberty. And then also Rob Dawson goes on to say as well that they're looking at the minority investment as well from Americans. So it stinks. It really, really stinks. And we're in trouble, man. We're in trouble because the Glazers are just hanging on and hanging on and hanging on. And it's getting worse and worse at this football club. While the football club just rots, the Glazers are the ones who get to just do this at their own pace without giving a crap. There's been no communication with the fans. There's clearly not been consistent communications with the people within Manchester United, which sources are actively telling us that actually we're in the dark. You know, there's fears now the process is dragging on and on and on. Like it's not stopping. It really isn't stopping. I wanted to get a little bit more on that Rob Dawson piece as well, because he said, there you go. He also says, Rob Dawson, he said, Eric Ten Hag is hoping for a successful summer transfer window after a positive first season in charge, but it would be complicated by ongoing uncertainty over the club's ownership. Exactly, which is exactly what we've been saying. How on earth can Eric Ten Hag plan when he has no idea what to do? What's next? Do you know what I mean? He has no idea. Let me get some of your comments up on the screen. Mozan says 250k for a plane, but not $15 for a haircut. Yeah, still got the mad. Still doing the mad thing, 100%. United was brought up on youth and should be buying young players, but they're still linked to the old players. What else have we got here? It's all budgeting, already seen as an expenditure ahead of the year. Exactly, SJ, agree. Avram spending 250k on a private jet and still can't get his hairline sorted. This guy's a fool. But this is what I said to KG. This actually proves that what I remember when we was on the Flex and KG show, and KG was like, listen, the fact that people hate Avram and Joel Glazer, like, you're human, it gets to you in the end. And I said, listen, the guy's got a ponytail just hanging off at the back, bro. He's dirty, stinking rich. Do you think the Glazers care whether they're liked? And he was like, nah, I'm telling you, I hear you, Flex, but it gets to you. It gets to you sometimes. It does not. Like Love just said, man's got spent 250 bags on a plane and got the flapping ponytail just sitting there. Man's got the quarter ponytail. Nah, man, they don't give a crap about this football club. They don't give a crap about the fans. They don't give a crap about the people that they actually employ. They don't give a crap about their employees, you know, leaving them in limbo and not being transparent and not being consistent with their message. Anton says, morning Flex and UV Reds, time to glow, Glazer Rats. Big up to you. And the Glazers don't care that Eric Ten Hag can't make plans for the team. They don't care about the team. I think they want to destroy this club, says Nathan Miller. Miller as well, 100%. And big up to Minna. She's come through in the chat. She says, morning, everyone. And these guys clearly don't care about image or perception. They just care about money, says Bammy Rich. Exactly. That's exactly what it is, I think. And that's what that's why I was quite frustrated in that moment trying to explain that to KG, because they ain't got a clue. They don't care about what happens next. The fact that they've left us in limbo for this long is just, and they don't give a crap, it's just crazy. And the fact that they're still looking at the minority investment, because technically, you know, Sir Jim Ratcliffe is offering them a form of is offering them majority investment because he wants to take away their voting rights. He wants to be in power. But they're still looking for the Elliott hedge fund vibe. You know what I mean? Give us a light 1 or 2 bill then, and we'll stay as the majority, and take it from there. It's ridiculous. Minna said, who saw City's Premier League celebrations yesterday? More people in my local Tesco. I didn't see. I stayed. I just didn't watch any of their things. Didn't watch any of the football yesterday. There's like a couple family events. Just couldn't bother. Didn't want to watch that. Morning UV family. JP87 says JP87. Big up to you. Bless up UB fam says IB. Big up to you. And Nadeem says, we are lucky that Qatar are prepared to pay this much. If they don't sell it, it will be years until someone with this wealth comes to us. Exactly. And we're still no closer to finding out, to be honest. If we're being honest, we're still no closer to finding out who's going to own Manchester United. No closer. You know, we're getting to the end of the season where we want to plan. We've got City that's just done a three-peat. We've got City who, you know, who are doing what they're doing, and we are light years behind them, and we are no closer to finding out can we close the gap. And that for me is sad, and it's indicative of that the Glazers don't give a toss, to be honest, because that is the truth. they don't give a toss about us. They never have, and they never will. And it's sad. It really is, because we went from, I remember when where was I? So where was it must be November. So it was during the World Cup, wasn't it? During the World Cup, that's when the news kind of broke, when that first statement came out from the Glazers saying they're looking at strategic options or strategic investment, won't rule out a minority sale or a full sale. And we all got excited. And since then, we've been on it saying, you know what, this can be the time. This really can be the time. This is the time where we can sell the football club. Oh my God, it's actually happening. Then the bids start flying in. Then we hear about the Qatar side of things. So Jim Ratcliffe and that other idiot who was going on flipping fan channels, who was never serious about it, that Wally. But it was, people were in Elliott hedge fund, etc., etc. And there was a real sense of optimism. There was a real sense of like excitement, wasn't there? Let's face it, there was a real sense of excitement and skepticism because of where we're at now. But there was a real sense of excitement of going, you know what, this could actually happen. Like, we're actually going to sell this football club. We're actually going to do it. Oh my gosh, they actually said the word sale. Like, they're actually looking at buyers. Oh my gosh, there's a first round of bids. Oh my God, there's a second round of bids. Okay, third round of bids was a bit nuts, but it's active. And we went all the way from that of optimism and as people say in the chat, hopium, to where we're at now. And that's limbo and concern and worry that the Glazers are still arguing amongst themselves, between Avram and Joel, of not wanting to loosen up their grip on the club. They're arguing amongst themselves with the siblings, where some siblings want to cash in and get the hell out and take the money and run, where the two greedy don't want to swear in the morning. Two greedy idiots want to stay and keep rinsing the club. And there's a bid that facilitates them being able to do that. There's also minority bids on the table from Elliott Hedge Funds, which allows the Glazers to stay in a majority capacity. And obviously one that a lot of us want in terms of Qatar to just get rid of the whole lot, wipe it all clean, and get hopium to copium. Exactly, just to cope with everything. Says Makish, 100%. Oh no, it wasn't Makish who said that. It was Javid 8. Big up to you. And that's where we are. Complete limbo. And how this transfer window could be an absolute mess. I'm not gonna what do you call it, scaremonger or all that. This is just my opinion. This transfer window could in inverted commas, could be an absolute disaster, because I just don't see, or I can't see a pathway with all this uncertainty, how we're as attractive as we should be at this stage. Yes, Eric Ten Hag can sell himself and his staff, and he can sell the team that he's building. He can sell the progress that we've made. But when it comes down to long-term strategy, who's your owners going to be then? Don't know. Not really sure. Well, how much money can you give me over 5 years? Don't know. Gonna have to wait, and don't know what the Glazers are saying, really. I don't know what I can offer you. I want you. Here's how you're gonna fit into my team. Here's tactically how you're gonna, be part of this whole setup. And I want you to be part of this setup, by the way. I believe in you, la-di-da-di-da, from a tactical point of view, a football point of view. But can you secure me and my family for the next 5 years on this amount of money? Yeah, about that, you're gonna have to talk to them, because I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. It's bullshit. You can't operate like that. You can't do transfers in that manner. Now, me and Owen were talking about this. There's certain players that, can. There's certain players that can, sort of demand a bit more, inside stuff about what's going on with the owners. Like we said, we use an example of like Terrell Malacia coming in from Feyenoord. He's not going to come and say, "Well, what's happening with the Glazers?" I get that. He's a young kid. He's coming in for a relatively low fee. But where we are in terms of where we want to go and the players that we need to get, we need to be in for the big boy players, the players who really are going to know what's going on. And actually, do you know what? It shouldn't even be graded on how good the player is or how important they are. All players want a level of security, don't they? They want to know, am I getting my 4-year +1? Am I getting this bonus for this appearances and all of these stipulations in the contract, etc.? They want to know these things. Another clip's laughing, saying that's not how it works, Flex. What, the bit where you ring up Harry Kane and say, yeah, can you do this? Can you do it? And say, don't know, mate, I have to ask them. Maybe I'm being a little bit pedantic here, but you get my principle of basically, the players don't know what's going on. Do you know what I'm saying? We don't know. That is the truth. We have no idea what's happening. So if you're trying to buy players under those circumstances, what are they thinking? It's like you want to go work for a new company, but the company's going through a massive transition and you're not sure of the future of that company. Yes, they can probably offer you a lot of money, and the front of house managers in there are good, and it's a reputable brand. But in terms of how it's run and who's going to own it and what direction it's going to go in and how much money is at its disposal to bring you in, if you're not sure of that, that's going to make you think, well, I don't know then. It's going to put uncertainty and doubt in your head. It is. WJ Barrett, big up. He says, morning Flex. Have faith. Full sale income in Qatar. WJ Barrett has not moved his stance. He has not moved his goalpost since the whole start of this thing. And he's saying, full sale. Have faith. Don't worry. I'd love to be as calm as you, bro. I'd love to be as calm as you. But yeah, I'm a lot more worried than you. And hopefully that is right. It still can be that. We still don't know. I'm not out here saying it's edging to people like WJ Barrett are certain. They're saying it will be Qatar. That's his opinion. I'm not out here trying to say it's going to be Qatar or no, it's definitely going to be Sir Jim Ratcliffe. We are doomed. Like I got a bit over emotional in that Sir Jim Ratcliffe video that we did. But what I do know is that we're in limbo. And we don't know. James says Sancho to raise funds would be a high IQ move, to be fair. Well, you want Sancho sold this summer. Get the money and raise money. He thinks that's a high IQ move. You guys agreeing with James there? Sell Jadon Sancho this summer, get more money. What do we get Jadon for? 72 point something mil. How much would you get for Jadon now if someone did come in for him? What are you trying to get? What, like 50? Who's good? Because no one's going to come in and play premium for Jaden. You know what I mean? When he's had a season, well, not a season, he's had 2 seasons, like he's just had essentially 2 seasons off. So I'm saying no one's going to pay that kind of money. 45 million, says Grace. Sancho plus cash for Vinicius Jr. I'm going to talk about Vinicius Jr. later on towards the end of the show as well, and all the crap that's going on in Spain towards black players and Vinicius Jr. in general, and in football in general. But listen, we're never going to get Vinicius Jr. plus money. No chance. No chance. We're never going to get Vinicius Jr. As Mina says, over 1K watching. Let's get the likes up, people. Let's do that. If you're just coming in, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Geez, Grace says, I'd rather sell Rashford. I'd rather sell Rashford, our top scorer this season. It's all going off today. Everyone's got big takes. Let's see how many likes we've got so far. We have got 166 likes and nearly 1,100 people watching. Now, you don't need me to tell you that is a disgrace and a cheat. Yeah, the first Flex solo show in a while. Even if forget the news, forget the Glazers, etc., etc. If you're just happy to have a solo with me once in a while, like we're doing right now, we're connecting on that level. Yeah, back in the day when it was just Fleck. Yeah, to be fair, it was just me for like maybe 3 weeks. Maybe 3 weeks. It was just me and you lot. And then they brought in the Calvary. But yeah, like up the thing if you're just happy to just, see us together. At least do that. Come on, man. You lot are better than that. You lot can do way better. So that's the latest on the Glazers. Basically, they're bleeding us dry. They're getting 250k jets to come and watch us play on, and putting it on expenses. Yeah, here's a receipt. Yeah, boom, right off. Keep the receipt. Can you imagine them after booking that? Yeah, keep the receipt. Keep the receipt. We'll bounce that off against the taxes at the end of the year. No problem. Honestly. So they're doing that, spending 250 bags on jets. And they're also delaying their takeover decision because of a mixture of things. One, they're just greedy bastards and want more money. 2, the Glazers are fighting amongst themselves because Avran and Joel don't want to loosen their grip. They want to keep their stakes, whereas the other Glazers, they're out. They're done. So yes. Dusan Vlahovic. Let's get to a little bit of transfer news. Let me change my thumbnail. Not my thumbnail, my overlay. Let's get back to that because we are no longer talking about the Glazers, but we are talking about Dusan Vlahovic. And apparently, Manchester United and Bayern Munich, according to Fabrizio Romano, are in the race for Dusan Vlahovic. Man United are targeting Atlanta striker as well, Rasmus Højlund. I think I say his name right. I don't know. Someone put it in the comments if I'm not. But they will struggle to secure a deal below 60 million. United are indeed in for him. The club will not be encouraged to make an opening offer of 40 million at an amount that has been floated in the UK media. So apparently we're in for Dusan Vlahovic, according to Fabrizio Romano. Hello, guys. Dusan Vlahovic, what are you lot saying? Before I give my opinion, what are you guys saying on Dusan Vlahovic? There's some more on Dusan Vlahovic as well. Let me get that up for you guys. I'll come back to that in a minute. But Dusan Vlahovic, you having him? You having him? Obviously, he was prolific at Fiorentina. And then in that January, was always linked with Arsenal. Just like a lot of players, Arsenal, they're going to get him, they're going to get him, they're going to get this, they're going to get this, they're going to get that player, they're going to get a player, and then he goes somewhere else. They did it with Madrid, they did it with Isak, they did it with Vlahovic. Could be another Caicedo thing. But it's a weird one, isn't it? I've pulled up some of his stats. In his final season for Fiorentina, which is what put him on the radar, he played 20 games in Serie A and scored 20 goals, which obviously is fantastic. The season before that, which again put him on the radar, he scored 21 goals in Serie A in 40 games. But since he's gone to Juventus, obviously they've had, a tough time, haven't they, to say the least. Loads going on there with flipping Crookinell, loads of stuff, controversy, scandal going on off the pitch. But since he's been there, he's played 62 games in all competitions, and he scored 23 goals in a team that, clearly has been struggling. And if I go just to this season, we'll see how well he's done this season. He has played 41 games for Juventus this season, and he scored 14 goals. So not as prolific. Yeah, he's a powerful player. When he was at Fiorentina, you know, you're looking at him and we weren't being linked with him, but because he's hot property, big money, you're on the wagon, aren't you? You're like, yep, good finisher, powerful. He was. I remember in that period when he was at Fiorentina, you're seeing clips every week of this guy just scoring, taking the absolute piss, even for his country as well. And when he went to Juve with that massive expectancy, I don't think he's quite hit the heights. I don't think he has hit the heights. That's not to say he's been a terrible player. That's not to say he's been a shocking player or anything like that. And have I watched much of him, in general? And have I watched a lot of him in Juventus at Juve? Not really. I haven't. I just know that Juve have been doing shit, got deducted loads of points. Pogba can't stay fit. They were nowhere near the title, obviously. And then they got the points added back on. And yeah, that's it. I don't know. I don't know much more whether he's the answer for us, really. The Fiorentina one, cool. I can see that, but it's difficult to know. Someone said if Ten Hag wants him, then fine. Wooming says Vlahovic and Martial swap. Would you swap Martial for Vlahovic? Well, Martial's been so poor that you would try a different option potentially if it's a straight swap. Jersey says we need a solid 20 goals a season striker. Absolutely, it has to be. Not these maybe, man. Yeah, just is it here? Is it him? Niz says he ain't good. Not him. Drizzy also says he's Jovetic 2.0. What happened to Jovetic? Stefan Jovetic. He, when he went to Real Madrid, I think I saw an interview. I was reading an interview a few months back when he was saying, yeah, he admits like it was the wrong time and it was too big a step when he went to Real Madrid. Just shows you, innit, how hard it is to actually make it. Who else? Simon says, I'm not sure anyone would choose to come to United with what's going on. True. I see what you're saying. Broderick says Vlahovic ain't better than Lukaku. He ain't even better than Big Rom. Do you know what I mean? So that's a no. Sin Game says Højlund is the best option in my opinion. We need to get this guy. Rather go with the younger one. Women says Højlund and Ramos, but Vlahovic ain't bad though. You see, he says it a bit ain't bad. It's just like, well, he'll do. And we need better. That's what I'm saying. He's struggling at Juve. No way for me, says Compost Smurf. But I hear you on that. Fair enough if he's struggling. But like that shouldn't look. I mean, to go and get a guy who's in form and banging up goals left, right, and center every game, who's in shit hot form is hard. That they're a premium. Maybe we might have to take a gamble on someone we know can score goals, but hasn't been in their best goal scoring form at the moment. I hear what you're saying, though, Compost. If you think he's struggling at Juve, you've seen enough that he's not going to be it. Nathan says, Qatar will be our new owners 100%. I would take Dusan all day long. He's quality. Any striker, but not Kane. Come on. We need youth so we can develop and make them even better. Come on, Nathan, man. Look what Kane done. See Kane's goal against Brentford. Jesus. And I know a lot of you guys are against Kane because of the reason that Nathan's actually saying, and Andrew Cole said it as well. We need younger players, not players towards the back end of their careers, not players who are coming or just in their prime now or coming out of their prime or whatever on big contracts. He'd rather get, younger. But I mean, I don't know, man. I would, if I had to categorize the need for now and what this team needs instantly versus developing over goals, instant goals, I'm going instant goals every minute. Like Kane, and I hate to go back to that but it's a striker conversation, is it? It's we're linked with Dusan Vlahovic now. Kane is a walking 25 goal man. Instant walking 25 Prem goals, easy every season, easy. And I just think that because of how bad we've been up front for so long, and not having that type of striker who can guarantee us that, regardless if the team's playing shit or not, he's getting his goals. I just think that's what we really need right now. Over someone who we have to develop them and they're young. I still want that type of player. I want them to. I want them to come in with Kane or whoever the striker is. You know, like the Højlund kid looks good. Haven't seen loads of him, but what I have seen of him, he looks good. Obviously, Evan Ferguson at Brighton looks really good. Scored 2 good goals yesterday, especially his second one, good finish. But I think we need the here and now. Like, I don't want someone who can come in and then we're waiting. We have to just give them time so that in 2 years, once they've bedded in and once they've adapted and once they've progressed as a player, because they're really young, maybe in 2 years they can give me 20. No, I need 20 now. And I know that might sound short term and flexible about the future and stuff like that, but we need to win. We need to win now. We need to score goals now. Fleck, it's not about goals. CR7 scored 18 and made us worse. I hear you on that. They need the link up play, Amir. I'm not saying like they need to do nothing but score, but Kane brings the link up play. Kane lays on assists as well. So it is about a balance. I get it. I'm not saying like make sure we don't get any young players. I'm just saying I need goals, man. And Kane guarantees me goals. If we get Højlund, I'm happy. If we get Osimhen, I'm over the moon. If we get Vlahovic, again, I'm not. I'm with other people. I'm kind of not sure if he is that guy. Obviously went to Juve and it hasn't really worked out. But they've had a lot of problems, so that's a bit harsh to judge him off that. But I just want goals, man. And do you know what it is? It's when I see Kane in that crap team. Like, come on, guys. Like, imagine like Kane can do this for 4 years more. 4 years more. And you can say, yeah, and in 4 years we're going to need another striker, etc., etc. That's fine. Like, we can get the young striker next year to supplement Kane. Like, you still can do it, or we can do it both at the same time. You can bring in a Højlund as well, or an Evan Ferguson, and have both. That would be perfect. Because essentially we need 2 strikers, don't we? We're going to talk about Martial in a little while, but he's probably going to go, or there's a high chance he could. I mean, not available and not great. United is like saying, no, we can't. Why? 2 years of Kane is enough. Why? I don't understand why you don't think that. Why can't? How can you look at Harry Kane and say he can't do what Benzema's done, which is play till these type of ages and still bang goals? How could you look at Kane and say he can't do what Lewandowski's done and play to the same kind of thing he done? Like, I don't get it. Like, everyone acts like, everyone acts like Kane's just some bang average guy. He's not even that good. Kane is an elite, world-class striker who's just about to turn 30. Like, that's why look at Casemiro. He's just turned 30. He's 30. Look at him. Kane has 28 goals. How can you disrespect this guy? We have no right to turn this man down when we have Weghorst. Kane and understudy like Ferguson is the way. Trust me, 100% agree with that. Like, this is about opinion, but I just think it's crazy to be like, nah, Kane, like, nah, he's just not it. Like, nah, he's injury prone. His ankle, mate, scores 25 every single season. Myth. He's not versatile enough. He doesn't really run or doesn't really do anything. Bags bare assist in a shit team. Like, if he didn't play for Spurs, he wouldn't have this stigma. It's as simple as that. Oh, he's a bottle job. He ain't won nothing. Yeah, because he plays for shitty Spurs. And you can question what his mentality is. You can question like what's his motivator, because you would argue it isn't trophies. His motivator is maybe to be a Spurs legend and stay there his whole career. We don't know that yet. He might turn down a chance to come Man United and keep staying there. But to score that many goals in that crap team means you are world class, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I just don't get it. The guy is consistently putting up numbers every year. And guess what? If he stays at Spurs this year, he'll do exactly what he's done this year, which is score a stupid amount of goals in another crap Spurs team that's not going to do anything and just rot away, where he will, for himself on a personal, be great, where he'll break the record of Shearer, be the all-time leading goal scorer in the Premier League. He's already the all-time leading goal scorer for Spurs. He'll get his statue outside White Hart Lane or Tottenham Stadium, Hotspur Stadium, whatever it's called, London Stadium. No, that's West Ham. Whatever their shit stadium's called. It's not shit, it's a good stadium, but you get what my point is. And and then he'll get all that, and then he'll retire, happy man. That's on Kane. But I'm saying, don't act like we don't need Kane, and don't act like Kane can't bang for another 3 years. 3 years minimum. Minimum. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's where I stand on it. I'm not dissing all the other people that we're linked with. Dusan Vlahovic, it is a little bit more of a question mark. It's a bit 50-50-ish for me. The young kid Hoyland looks good. Evan Ferguson looks good. And like I said, I still think, and Victor Osimhen's obviously still there. I think Kane and Osimhen stay where they are. Like me and Owen said the other day, I don't think he goes anywhere. Obviously, we're in touch and distance to the Champions League now. We should get that sorted on Thursday night by getting at least a point to secure it. But I don't see any of the other options being disgustingly bad. But I just think Kane is the one, personally. Mark Khan, big up to you, bro. Says hi. Hi. Problem is with Kane, it's the service he will get. He will end up in midfield trying to get the ball. Our wingers just do not pass or cross. Listen, we'll have to adapt 100%, and that's where you got to trust in Erik ten Hag and trust in the next development of the team. We have to remember that how the team is now, Mark, I would say, is not necessarily not even necessarily. It isn't the finished article. 100%. If you have someone like Kane, he needs ultimate service, and obviously, if he comes back into midfield, he needs runners going on. So he can link up well with Rashford. That's no problem. With Bruno, that's an interesting one because he's in that position. But actually, Bruno's another one who can run beyond as well. You know, Bruno does his best work in the final third. He does. He doesn't do his best work. I know he's played as a 6 this season, you know, playing deeper in some of the games where we had no Casemiro, we had no Sabitzer, we had no Fred. He had to do it. Sorry, we had no Eriksen. He had to do it. But Bruno prefers to play higher. Bruno's more effective higher. So if you push Bruno on, you know, and he swaps with Harry Kane, that's brilliant. You know, Kane can be chief provider as well. We know we can do that quite comfortably. And also, which is more to the point, like you're saying there, Mark, Erik ten Hag in pre-season, because you've got Harry Kane, says, listen, right, now I've got the striker that I know sniffs danger, is at the end of every chance, knows where to be for the tap-ins, gets his head on anything, you know, gets the tap-ins as well. Now I've got a striker like that. Anthony, or if Ahmad's in there on the right-hand side as well, and you, Rashi, on the left, and whoever else plays on the left, Garnacho's quite direct, crosses in the box. You, Luke Shaw, Wamby, whoever it is, Dallo, the playing style will change. So I don't think we should. We can look at things that help us to play better. We could look at our playing style now with things that would aid Harry Kane, but also I think the things that we look at in our team now that maybe would hinder Harry Kane, I think we should look at it with the mindset of if Erik ten Hag wants Harry Kane that bad, which I believe he's a top priority, he's got a big plan of how we're going to have to play to get the best out of him, 100%. And actually that goes with any striker, in my opinion, that ten Hag wants. I think ten Hag's such a good manager that he's got the plan of what he wants the team to look like. Again, when we're controlling games and we change the midfield around as well, we're going to have hopefully more control of games, and that will help the likes of Kane as well. And then he needs that repetition of knowing when Anthony gets the ball, which isn't the case now, he's going to get past his man, that ball's getting fired across. You know what I mean? He needs to know that when Rashford loses his man or goes past his man, that ball's getting fired across the box, or the cross is coming in. When Luke Shaw gets up, he knows the cross is coming in. When Bruno gets on a half turn in the half spaces and stuff like that, in between the lines, he can pick out passes and find Kane. So he needs to know that. And I think whichever striker we get, I'm pretty sure Erik ten Hag has a plan for them, to be honest. But big up for the super chat. I appreciate that, Mark. Big up Grace. Grace is the latest member of the UV Members Club. Remember, you can join. And if you do join, you get to call in live after every single game for the full-time view of Owen. Members can do that. So if you remember, that's one of the biggest perks that you do get. You get to call in live and get your voice heard from wherever you are in the world. You also get UV Raw, which is exclusive behind-the-scenes content, which you don't want to miss. Them crazy stuff happens, stuff that I'm just like, honestly, the characters that we've got on the UV, when you see behind the scenes, it makes a difference. It really does to your viewing experience. I promise you that. It makes a difference to your life. to be deadly honest with you. And you get your badges and you get your emojis, of course, and you get your priority chat, as well as any other exclusive content that we have as well. So big up to any of the current members and the new members as well. All Elite says the squad is seriously lacking in quality and mentality. We can't just go for youth. We need some ready-made to pull us up the table. Kane all day. All Elite, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. We can't just invest in only in kids. I do agree. We need to get more of them, though. I definitely agree with that. Like take midfield, for example, just on that point. Because I don't want people to think that like I want us to be, 30 plus FC. I ain't saying that because we do need a mix of youth and experience. Like let's go to midfield then, because I'm balancing my opinion on this. Where I'm saying with Kane, go and get the 30-year-old, go and get the balanced guy who can give us everything. In midfield, I'm open to like the next young protege. Like the players like Camavinga. I know it's easy to say, go and get me a Camavinga or a Tchouameni or a Moises Caicedo or the next N'Golo Kante, something like that. But what we never seem to do is go into the French league, go to Saint Etienne or Montpellier or Lens or whoever it may be, Lyon or Marseille, and go and get the next Kante, go and get the next Caicedo. We never seem to do it. We never seem to do it. And that's what I'm not opposed to. Go and get the young kid who's 19, 20, 21, 22, for 15 million or 10 million or 25 million, whatever it is. Go and get him and unearth the gem and let him, he's got legs for days. He can get about the pitch. He's aggressive in a tackle. He's press resistant. He can evade challenges. He can travel with the ball. He can get past players. He's comfortable with the ball at his feet. Where are those players? That's what we need. So I do agree we need younger players too. Sanjit Gill says, before the ban, I would have liked Ivan Toney and Højlund. Yeah, I think obviously Ivan with that long ass ban, he's going to be out to like January, man. And again, we can't afford to be at deficit. All Elite says Kane's age, see Lewandowski and Benzema. End of. There you go. I said my piece on that. And Mark Khan, big up to you, bro. I've already read that one. Smash the like on the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We've got nearly 1,400 people watching. Great numbers. How many likes? Not even 500. 332 people. Come on. We're nearly at 1,400 people watching live. Let's 500 likes. Just do that for me. That's all you guys need to do. At least 500 likes, and we'll be good. I promise you. You know what I mean? Actually, talking about because we're on the striker situation, I think it's important to talk about Martial. Because Manchester Evening News earlier this year have said that Martial could be sold this summer to generate funds for a new striker and other summer targets. But according to Football Transfers, which has been kind of regurgitated by Manchester Evening News, Aston Villa are weighing up whether to make a proposal that sees Martial come in on an initial loan with an option to buy in the year after. Unai Emery is looking for a versatile attacker for next season, one who can play down the middle as a second striker or on the wing. Villa are reportedly set to give manager Unai Emery a sizable transfer budget to strengthen Villa's squad this summer, and Martial is on his radar. Martial to Villa. Obviously, we're just going to discuss that really quickly. Yeah, I mean, if you look at Ollie Watkins, he's more active than Martial, isn't he? Let's call a spade a spade. I think Martial FC will go down, how good Martial is with his feet and, how his link-up play, his class, his intelligence, and he's fantastic and he's the best thing since sliced bread. But the reality is Martial don't do nothing consistently. You know what I'm saying? I've had my time in Martial FC years ago. I've had my time in, thinking that we can get a tune out of him. I've had my time in understanding that actually we are better with him than without. But that doesn't mean in the context of this season, because we had nobody, by the way. But that's important to remember. That's in the context of this season. Martial, when he's played this season, has generally, contributed actually by numbers and stats. He has. But this is why eye test should be the real test. Numbers and stats don't say everything, and like I said quite a few times recently, we live in a world where numbers and stats dictate absolutely everything. They really do. But for me, when you just look at Martial on a consistent basis, he just doesn't do enough. He's another nice footballer. When the game, let's because you know what, I don't want to just slander players for no reason and not give a reason of why I think X or why I think Y. Let's look at Martial. So first of all, it's the injuries. Okay, cool. This year it's been a disaster. And I actually stood by him a little bit and said, even by his standards, he's never been this unavailable before. But that's a massive red flag. Yeah, that's the first thing. Second thing, though, which if you're looking at actually what Martial's been over his whole Man United career, he's been this player that we've just been waiting to arrive. That's what he's been waiting to be the guy, and it just never comes. Like he's a player that, if the game's played at a nice pace and we're on the ball, he can take some neat touches. He can take some nice touches and do okay. He can strut through the game and do all right. Get a couple of goals here or there, but essentially he doesn't have the intensity. I don't care what anyone says. I know that certain times he's not being asked to press. I understand that, and I don't get onto him for that. I don't say, in the moment where he doesn't press the right person, like to take him off, he's crap. But I'm talking about in general, he doesn't have that intensity that we're looking for. He doesn't. Is he a killer up front? No, he's not. He's just nice. He's just a nice footballer, but he doesn't do enough. And then, like I said about the injuries, it's time. Now, Love says, watch him go Villa and bang 20. He is a confidence player as well. That is true of Martial. If you put an arm around him, you'll get a tune out of him for a little while. But inevitably, that tune dies. That tune gets rinsed, and you want to change the tune. That's what will happen. Robin, big up you, says we need 2 strikers this summer. I agree with that. One in the 11 squad. I agree, and one prodigy like Victor Roque. Don't know who that is. Martial out. Too many chances on too many managers. Yeah, I agree with everything you said there. Him and Sanchez don't have that dog. Sancho don't have that dog in them, says Nessie. Exactly. They don't have that desire. And look, I'm not saying Kane runs around like a blue ass fly or Kane's electric, just to take it back there. But just in contrast to the players, like you can't even mention them in the same sentence, Kane and Martial, as strikers with the goals. But I'm talking about the way that they work and the way that they move. I just don't see it. And players like that, I think you can only play them in certain situations and certain scenarios when the game's going in a certain way. And we need real men. We need real players. You know what I'm saying? With real heart. You know what I mean? Not just all passion and desire, but we need real intensity. Minna says, I would have taken Isak. Absolutely. Isak's wicked. Look how he just glides past people. Look at the intensity that he plays with. So interesting to see what happens there with Martial. And a little bit on Dean Henderson. We'll talk about this. Forest to pursue a permanent move for Dean Henderson. This is according to a report by The Telegraph, which again has been kind of perpetuated by Manchester Evening News. And The Telegraph say Nottingham Forest are going to pursue a permanent deal for United goalkeeper Dean Henderson this forthcoming summer. This is according to The Telegraph, who claim that Forest, who sealed Premier League survival over the weekend against Arsenal, disgraces and cheats, even though he's been injured for most of the season. Henderson has been sidelined since January through injury and recently discovered that he faces a further setback, which isn't great for him. Nevertheless, that is reportedly not putting Forest off a permanent move for his signature. Now, last topic of the day, interesting, because with the David De Gea situation, we were looking at it like, well, maybe Henderson can come back, actually. Look, forget that TalkSport interview. The guy's just been... that maybe in the tone of it wasn't right. But essentially what he was saying is that he was pissed off because, Ollie gave him a new deal, said he's going to be England's number 1 and Man United's number 1, and he was lied to. Didn't get a chance, came back from COVID, lost his place to David De Gea. David De Gea, who's better than him, by the way. I do stand by that in that moment. And yeah, came back and felt like he got done dirty, so he voiced his opinions. You got to get out of that. Yeah, internet's moving mad. I think it should be back now, though. Dropped another super chat. Wanted your thoughts before you go. I will do, Mark. No problem. I saw the little screen. The little Wi-Fi symbol came up. But the thing is, my Wi-Fi is actually turned off because I am straight hardwired. 120 meg upload, 120 meg download. Okay, so stop atting me. Yeah. Do you want to take a screenshot? Flex, you're going extra. Stop getting drawn out. Jurgen Fleck. But the Wi-Fi was moving mad, but I can see it's back now. But yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, Dean Henderson. So he lost his place. So he just feels like he's he's been done dirty to the point where he said, "Don't even want Eric Ten Hag to see me. I'm just going to cut. I'm out." But if he wants to, if Spurs, if Forest, sorry, want to take him permanently, then that does leave us in a situation where, well, you know, we're going to need another goalkeeper. We can't be in a situation where the second keeper is just Butland and that you don't want to. The drop off's too big. You know, big up Tomo. Love Tom Heaton as well. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Tomo. Maybe he might leave. But I don't know. Like we're going to have to go and get someone else because David De Gea, like I said, ain't it. I have stood by and understood why he's going to get a new deal and why he's probably still going to be the number one this season. But hopefully, once we've got everything sorted, our main priorities this season, this summer sorted. Hopefully, there's enough left to go and get a young goalkeeper to, you know, like even Marcel said, to help train him up. Do you know what I'm saying? To help train him up because that's absolutely needed. So yeah, the Dean Henderson one's interesting. Because also for him, he's not going to want to come and play second fiddle again. He's had all of last season, which he did that, he lost his place and felt pissed off. Then he's had a crap season this year because he's ended up getting injured and then having a setback for an injury. So it essentially for him, he keeps having stop-start seasons since he was at Sheffield United for a couple of seasons and done well there. He hasn't managed to get some consistency. So for him, I think in his career he's going to want that. So I don't think he's going to. I think he'll reject the chance to come back and fight it out with De Gea because he sees himself as just better, and I should be starting. So I think if Forest did come for him, it'll be down to us. It'd be interesting to see what we say on that. Does Eric Ten Hag go, I need him to stay for another season and be second to David De Gea? But then you got an unhappy Dean Henderson who already stressed, I don't want to stay here if I'm not playing. And that ain't going to change until he's made number one at Man United, which may never even happen. Probably won't happen. Actually, will never happen because David De Gea is going to stay. He's going to get a new deal. So yeah, interesting. I think that's going to be mad how we navigate that. Big up Duma says crazy thing is it's easy to get the type of player you mentioned. We just overlook them. They are available for 4 or 5 million. We wait until they are 90 million, 100%. It pisses me off so much. Caicedo was literally there for like, what was he before he went to Brighton? Was it like 4 or 5 million? I remember we were actually linked with him as well. I remember that summer where we were linked to Caicedo. Was it not last summer, summer before? I think it was. And nothing. He goes to Brighton. And I remember when he went Brighton, I remember going, oh, we was linked to that guy, that Caicedo guy. And I wonder how he does at Brighton. And now look, he's subject to flipping rejected bids of 60 million from Arsenal to the point where now I know that his agent's trying to get him to Chelsea. Watch this space. He might go Chelsea as well. So, and Arsenal probably going to go back in for him. And they wanted 70 in January. Now what they're going to want? Now they've got Europe. What are they going to want now? 70, 80? You know what I'm saying? For Caicedo, Evan Ferguson, people are going to potentially want him. Alexis McAllister, Liverpool bound. That squad's going to get dismantled, man. But yes, we never do it, do we? We never do it. Big up Robin says we need 2 strikers this summer. I've read that one already. Big up to you though, Robin. Appreciate super chat. And last super chat of the day, Umar says, Flex, these European journalists should produce Italy and Spain every day to confront the racism like they do for Qatar issues all day, every day. If not, isn't that part of the racism and xenophobia? Listen, man, I'm going to finish off on Vinicius Jr. because it's disgusting. Look, there's one thing that's saying, listen, look, if you live in a glass house, don't throw stones. We got problems in our own country with racism all the time. We see it all the time. We've seen it in our terraces. We've seen it to our black players in this country and the England team as well. And many other players. We've seen it to Saka. We've seen it to Sancho. We've seen it to Rashford. We've seen it. We've been seeing it in this country where it's disgusting. But what Vinicius Jr. is going through in Spain is absolutely ridiculous and disgusting because it's repeated offenders. It's always happening. And the state of Valencia's statement, I don't know if you guys have seen it. Let me find it. It really pissed me off. I don't even know how to find it right now. Basically, they were saying that, there you go. Where is it? I want to find that statement. Basically, what they were doing was scared to criticize their own fans. That's what they were doing. They were basically saying that Don Carlo was lying. He got his words wrong. They're focusing on the microism of, because he said all their fans. So they're trying to say not all our fans are racist. And you know, um, maybe they didn't hear that. We're going to look into it. Maybe Vinicius Junior didn't hear that. Did you see how angry he was? Did you see what he was subject to? Not for the first time. Until you understand, until that happens to you, yeah, where you're sick and tired of being shouted at, abused because of the color of your skin, until that happens to you and you're fed up of it, shut your mouth. Yeah, and don't defend your own. Like, call it out. Call it out, because that's what Valencia were doing. I've got to find this statement. I couldn't believe what I was reading. Where is it? It's so annoying. I really want to find it. If someone could find it, copy and paste it and put it in the chat for me, please. There you go. Oh, well, the league has come out of it as well. And this is the thing. Before criticizing and insulting the Liga, it is necessary that you inform yourself properly. This is Vinicius Jr. allegedly on the radio. Oh, this is from the president of La Liga. So I'm reading this for the first time now. Before criticizing and insulting the Liga, it is necessary that you inform yourself properly. Do not let yourself and the work we have been doing together. Oh, let me turn that out. That is Bella. You're gonna get me banned off YouTube there, Bella. Where's the rest of it? Is there not a second part? All right, they're just talking about the same thing. But basically, Valencia were defending their flipping fans. And that is exactly the problem with what's going on. The league, they're in leagues that don't give a shit. Look at Lukaku the other week. The guy got a yellow card for cupping his ears because he'd been racially abused during the game and before he took a penalty. Yeah, being racially abused before that, and he stood miles away from the fans and just cupped his ears like he always does. Yellow card for defending himself. That right there shows you what the priorities are. That shows you. And I think Vinicius Jr. ended up getting sent off because he thought enough's enough. I don't care about the game. And like Ancelotti said, he didn't want to talk about it. He didn't want to talk about the game yesterday. He wanted to talk about what was really important. And until, I'm telling you, until you start docking points from these teams, until players start walking off the pitch, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. Ivan Toney just got banned for 8 months. Is it 8 months? From now to January? Yeah, it is. He just got banned for 8 months for the betting thing. Cool. He's done wrong, whatever. Luis Suarez didn't get banned for 8 months, did he? Honestly, like you almost, when you're black, you almost get tired of fighting that fight. And actually, it's the same. It's the same for a lot of people who are fighting any fights that are in society, whether it's people who are fighting for the rights of homophobia, whether people are fighting for the rights of disability and discrimination, people who are fighting the rights of abuse and domestic violence and things like that. Whatever your fight is, people who are fighting anti-Semitism, whatever the fight is, you know, some things hit harder than others because you've personally been through them. But I feel for people who are persecuted and marginalized within whatever fight they have, because you just feel like giving up. But you can't give up. You can't stop talking about things. We all got a responsibility to do it. And you can't stop bringing things to the forefront. And sometimes action needs to get more drastic. And the people who are actually in control, who can totally like upfront affect something, they're the ones that need to do it. And all the black players, all the big players, I saw Rio Ferdinand's post, you know, in all the big boys, all the players, stand up, man, be loud, man. We need more black players to speak out. You guys are the ones who have the power. And that's not criticism. This is just like a rallying cry. You know what I'm saying? Because it's pathetic. Vinicius Jr. and like he said that we've lost. He said this league used to belong to the likes of Ronaldinho, etc., etc. I can't remember the other players that he said, and we're losing that. We're losing that to racists. We're losing that league. You know, Vinicius Jr. is a superstar, and La Liga are treating him like a piece of shit. It's as simple as that. And Jacon says, full stadium bans are the only way to do it. Make people stand up to these people in stadiums and call it out. 100%. 100% agree with you. But guys, thank you for watching the show. Sorry to end on a bit of a somber note, but it's really important for us to talk about that. Smash a like on the video. Tactical view later on with me and Cam coming up later on. And the full view later on today as well. So plenty coming up for you. I've enjoyed it. Smash a like if you have enjoyed it. Did we get to 500 likes? 480. 20 more likes on the way out, guys. You guys can do that. I know you can do that. A nice solo stream. I haven't done a solo stream in ages. So, yeah, I enjoy that. So as I go out the door, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I'll see you again later on with some more content for your head tops. Take care, guys. Peace.